Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nerdmigos podcast. We are talking about the state of DC. My name is Chris.
I am Michael Morales.
I am Jamie.
And I am Ryan.
And just so we're clear, we're not talking about, Washington DC, not the state, we're talking about
DC
comics and movies.
But I've got all these fun facts about where you should go on your... Fine. You know what? Fine. That's a week's worth of research. Fine, whatever. Okay.
Hey, look, we got plenty of time.
So when you're vision... No, the monument... No, it's fine. Continue on.
So look,
the football team... No. It's fine.
We are going to talk about Shazam. We are going to talk about where we think DC's going and stuff like that. And I don't know. Chris has a whole itinerary.
I have an itinerary planned.
But I too had a little fun thing that I came across. It's not very nerdy, but you're going to get to know Chris a little bit better, and this can probably relate to all of us. But once upon a time, Chris, I don't even think once upon a time, but growing up, I noticed that you really don't like Bogans. Like you have a fiery passion against Bogans. Yeah. Now, for those that aren't Australian, Bogans are essentially, Cletus. Would that be the closest?
I would imagine
like
so.
Deep South.
Cletus
from the deep south.
Deep South.
Cletus is a good
that kind of ratio. Now, once upon a time, Chris we drove past some Bogans, and Chris just casually said, "See, this is why I need my crossbow. This is this is the kind of Chris." But something I stumbled across on Facebook the other day was there's actually a Bogan quiz.
Ooh.
So like when Robin Schabotsky told made clear to Barney that he was part Canadian.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I can make Chris realise he's part Bogan.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Ooh.
Like, I'm not saying that you'll
Challenges
be
on, Chris.
fully Bogan.
Okay, yeah.
But you might be caught with a packet of Winnie Blues under you.
If you answer yes to any of these,
Yep.
you're part Bogan.
Okay, go for it. Let's hear them.
You own Ugg boots
No.
and wear them outside.
No.
This is definitely not you, but this is still pretty funny. You call Chardonnay Cardonnay.
No.
You pronounce Target Target.
No.
Guilty.
Ryan's a little bit Bogan.
Mm-hmm.
You think VB is the greatest beer in the world?
No.
Closely followed by 4X.
No.
Some of these are, definitely not Chris,
Yep.
but they're still pretty funny, so they're worth mentioning.
Yep.
When you're feeling fancy, you drink Jim Beam.
No.
You've definitely said, "I'm not racist, but..."
No.
Yes. Oh no!
Your favourite band is Akadaka.
No.
Yeah, alright. Carl Barron is your idol.
No.
You love Shannon Knoll.
No.
No.
I'm getting through the nose.
Soul Patch Knoll.
Your nickname ends in Azza or Ezza.
No.
Chrissa.
No. See, it doesn't work.
You. This is probably my favourite. You watch A Current Affair regularly.
No.
And know someone who's been on it.
No.
In fact, you've been on it yourself.
Someone who screwed pensioners out of their life savings or something like that.
Yeah.
You go on yearly holidays to Surfers Paradise.
No.
Or Bali.
No.
You don't have personalised number plates, do you?
No.
Okay, good. You definitely don't smoke durries.
No, I do not.
But you drink a lot of Red Bull.
No, actually I drink V. That is a slightly different drink.
Ooh, technical.
Ooh.
And this is finishing it off, rounding it off.
Mm-hmm.
You walk around barefoot most of the time.
With thongs.
And when you're not barefoot, you're wearing thongs.
There you go.
Chris is 1% Bogan.
1% Bogan.
Chris Warner exposed.
I see him taking off his shirt and putting on his singlet, white or blue
Like,
variety.
Go out to his white
Take
Commodore
me-
Ute.
He's like, take me to the tattooist. I'm getting a Southern Cross.
His V has
gotta
turned
be-
into a Chewy's new long neck.
But you've got to get the Southern Cross on your calf muscle. And then
I
walk
thought
around
I had to
wearing
get like a
dirty
really
board
big
shorts.
one across my chest.
Saying Aussie
No,
or something
it's
like
always
that.
on the calf. It's always
Is
on
it
the
on the
calf.
calf? Is it? Okay.
And
okay.
because when you're wearing your thongs, you can show off your Southern Cross.
No, I
And then
know
where you-
someone who has one on their shoulder. His shoulder's very commonplace
Yeah,
as well.
true. That's true. Also, or on the forearm.
Yeah,
Although
on
they
the
usually
inner
have
forearm.
they usually have like someone's name on their forearm.
Yeah, like Shazza or
Yeah.
Shazam.
Or maybe I'll get like
Or like
Sheila.
Cletus or something.
Sheila.
Sheila. Pride. Or, I don't know. It sounds
I think
like
there
something
should be
Sheila.
another
Pride.
question in that quiz though.
Oh, that's funny. I skipped
Do
the
you
whole
know
lot.
the words to Kaysan?
Huh?
There you go.
Great response.
What's case
I take away your
Cold Chisel,
1%.
Jimmy Barnes.
I don't know.
That's Australia's second national anthem,
The
my friend.
Okay.
the only Jimmy Barnes song I know and Chris would know would be Working Class
Last
Man,
Man, yeah.
which, ironically, you can sing the national anthem to perfectly.
Wow.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are young and free. See,
Ah, there you go.
Anyway,
Wow.
did not know
Um,
that. Thank you for
album
this
incoming, ladies and
weird
gentlemen.
quiz, Jamie.
there you go. I wanted to see if Chris was a bogan.
Chris
1%.
1% of
I want,
Bogan.
I want to do something fun before we're all serious and business and
Okay.
DC. But now it's time for DC with Chris.
All right. So much like we did with Marvel, we're going to talk about a few things that are sort of topical to DC. Obviously, there's lots of really good news actually that coincides with this podcast.
Yes.
There was obviously a new DC movie that came out. There was also then obviously a new trailer that we can also talk about as well. That was quite interesting. But let me ask you a question, and this is an important one, I believe. We'll go around to say, I'm pointing because pointing is great for podcasts. Anyway,
I see your point.
Visual podcast
A visual
we have
podcast.
here.
Anyway, so if they decide that they're going to not connect the DCE universe and they're just going to make standalone movies, would that lower your interest in this whole DC movies? More or less. What do you think, Michael?
Well, actually, it wouldn't. It wouldn't lower my interests at all. I think DC need to be their own entity. I think they will for a little while there. I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but for a little while there, I thought I was getting the vibe that they were trying to copy Marvel, like maybe kind of ride on their coattails a little bit with Justice League and Superman versus Batman and all that. That's a whole other. I was very disappointed with that movie, but that's a whole other can of fish. But yeah, no, I actually think it's for, in my opinion, I think it's better that they do their own thing. Don't try to be Marvel. Just have fun with it. And just do the best you can with the movies you want to make. Don't try to ride on Marvel.
Jamie?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much the same. But they've got to start somewhere. It's like they've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like the last two DC movies I've seen, I've absolutely loved.
Yes.
So concentrate on making good films. You don't necessarily have to connect them. Just, get better and better, and people get more interested as it goes along, as long as you're not trying to be Marvel. Because Marvel's done, all this year, all this build-up, to the point now that everyone loves it so much that they can release crap, and people will still watch it and defend it.
Because it's Marvel.
Because it's Marvel.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, I'm going to echo the thoughts of the table. I agree. The last couple of movies we've seen, even Wonder Woman, Aquaman, like the movies that we've seen have been great. They prove that you don't need to tie anything into a bigger universe to make a good film. And I agree with the guy, with everyone here. They need to focus on making good films before you want to bring everyone in at the same time. Because there's no point in doing that if you can't make a good solo film. You're not going to make a good team film. So I agree, definitely.
And even even when you look at Marvel and how Marvel started, they didn't start with the MCU. They started with X-Men. They were doing X-Men.
That was more Fox than...
So
let's
but still,
not-
the Marvel...
Let's not sully Marvel's name with Fox. Let's not... As I've heard of people
Have
say
they technically
the
done it
Fox.
to themselves, though,
No,
because they
but
bought
see,
it?
that's the thing, because before they had the MCU, they had even though it wasn't really Marvel, it was Fox,
Yeah.
as Chris just pointed out.
Yeah.
It was still
and
Marvel material.
Let me talk as
That's the
devil.
thing.
Let me talk devil advocate here. So we had Fox's X-Men,
Yep.
Fox's
Blade.
Fantastic Four.
Blade,
we had
yeah.
then Sony Spider-Man, and they were great films, absolutely. But what really drove, your interest in things, and specifically back in the comics, was when they all got together. And
Yeah.
so, if you look at the last few films, they're still playing in the same universe. So, Aquaman took place just after Steppenwolf Invasion, and they still mention very much that they're inside that specific universe.
Yeah.
Shazam, which we'll talk about, but again, they're very much. That one's drifting a little bit out and started to drift outwards a little bit.
Yeah.
And my concern, and this is my own opinion. If they start going, okay, they're going to be their own little standalone movies, great, and I will probably see them, but you're not going to drive the same sort of fanfare as you will as when they are combined, because essentially at that point you can and from a moving going audience, most people can see maybe 4 or 5 movies per year. They don't go see more. You have to go see an MCU movie because it links to another MCU movie.
Yeah.
that's right.
You don't have that. You have that call for me when a new Marvel movie comes out. I have to see this, otherwise I'm not going to get the next 10 movies.
Yeah.
But you don't have that with DC.
And then if DC go, well, we're going to make standalone films, they're going to be amazing on themselves, then great. I can be like, okay, I don't want to see that movie. I want to go see it. I don't want to go see that movie. And then, more importantly, from a merchandising standpoint, from me buying things outside, I'm not as connected to it.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
I think too with even when you look at Justice League movie that came out, I think you've got to get a as Chris is saying, like a collaboration movie with a lot of heroes on. You've got to earn it.
Yes.
You've got to earn that sort of that level of, because we earned it with Avengers. I remember going through since the first Iron Man, and then when that first Avengers movie came out. That was the bomb diggity. That was the absolute...
We've been waiting a couple of
and then
years
that
for.
scene where it spins around and you see all the... I think we talked about that in another podcast. That you got to earn that.
Yeah.
You've got to earn that.
And I'd absolutely agree that there are certain things that you should earn.
Yes.
Yeah.
But do I say that the issue with the funny and the weird issue with in my mind with Justice League is that they kind of listened to, like, there's listening to, like, there's listening to people saying, oh, let's do a good, we should change the tone of things, but there's also listening probably a little too much to people's opinions, and that to me, that's what Justice League was. It was like going, okay, let's make them not fight in a city because people are upset that Man of Steel fought in a city and killed some people. And it's like going, well, yeah, people die in a superhero battle in reality. That's
How many people have died in Avengers: Age of Ultron? How many people have died
no
in
one
the Battle
complained
of
as
New
much
York,
as in
you know what I mean?
Superman.
Yeah,
Because in
exactly.
Superman, there was actually a wide scale throughout. Anyway, but the main issue that that they're at the moment is, yes, they've got potentially 3 heroes that are worthwhile in their current roster: Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and maybe Shazam. Maybe. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that enough to then... it'll be some kind of Justice League?
It won't be the
They
Justice
need a few
League.
more. I think they need a few more. I think you're right, Chris. Like, I think maybe I think they would earn. They could quote unquote earn a Justice League movie if they were to actually maybe do a few more.
Yes.
Of
Introduce
course,
four
yeah.
more
They're
characters,
planning the
making them, because
that
they
next
can
Batman.
earn.
Well, that they can't just go, here's Man of Steel, here's Batman
Yeah.
versus Superman, here's Justice League.
Yeah, that was just a pretty big, because they
You
were
know
trying
what I
to
mean?
catch
It was a big jump.
It was.
But to their defense, they had success in the comics that way. So
Yeah,
with New
that's
52,
true.
the first New 52 they launched was Justice League.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they broke them off all separately. And it worked, and that worked spectacularally well.
Yeah.
True, to comic book readers who had known and grown up with those characters,
Yeah, exactly.
it wasn't really much of a stretch to go, okay, that's who that is. But
Yeah.
the movie had a whole bunch of other problems, where we won't go into why Justice League was probably should have been not shelved, but maybe not bringing Joss Whedon into a movie halfway through the production.
Yeah.
Well, technically at the end.
Yeah, and then potentially don't just cut and paste the movie to fit your own view. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
That's a story for another time, I think. But I think we all agree they need to earn. If they're going to do another team up movie, they need to learn from their mistakes, and they need to build to it, and they need to earn it.
Maybe not even necessarily. And hear me out. This could be heresy, but maybe not even Justice League. They could just do team ups.
Oh, definitely.
Why not have Shazam teaming up with Batman or Superman teaming up? With
like a world's finest, you could have a world's finest, which is
that's right. Why not just have
Superman and Batman? But you can put Shazam in there, have a Brave and the Bold, which was a series where Batman teamed up with different heroes each time. You know what I mean? Doesn't have you can use that premise. You're right. You don't have to have a Justice League.
You don't have to have the full universe. No. You can allude to that universe with a lot of different characters, but like specialize. Have movies with 2 or 3 heroes, and you really flesh their stories out and give them brilliant arcs. Yeah. I reckon that could be a pretty good direction for DC. I think, in my opinion,
because you look at the Avengers. The first Avengers movie, we had the primary Avengers, and each movie we've got more and more characters because they've worked towards that. And I think that's right. That's what DC should do. You're right. That could be a perfect thing.
Are you listening, DC bigwigs? We can come on as what do you call it, consultants.
Because I mean, look, to fix DC would be very, very simple. Also a touch heretical. but very, 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 very simple. And I've long thought that the best way to fix DC is just to, like, if you think that Jason Momoa plays a great Aquaman, and if you think that Gal Gadot plays a great Wonder Woman, which they do, you would almost have to do like a crisis event, and then say like have them join another universe almost, where they have established Superman and they haven't established things,
Which there's plenty of, there's 52 separate universes out there.
You just say, okay, cool, so,
plenty to go to.
They realise that their universe, you'd always have a storyline where, like, a universe gets, like, one of the many universes gets invaded by Brainiac, Batman builds a device to find... They, on their roster, they lose Aquaman, they lose Wonder Woman, they lose a few people, and they realise that, okay...
Which has happened.
We need to find... ones, and then Batman goes, okay, and it pulls those characters, and they go, why? He goes, okay, because in your universe, let's be honest, you don't, like, you help, but you're not needed like you're needed here.
Exactly.
And then that way you could reset your entire universe without actually using the same
bring
characters.
in the Ninja Turtles and do a live-action Batman Ninja Turtle crossover.
Listening a little scene.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Sorry. Let's also talk about something that also came out today, the Joker trailer.
Oh, yeah.
So let me talk about... Here's my thoughts on this one.
I really thought that... Like, I watched that trailer and I thought, Chris isn't going to like this. It's too artsy.
You did. That's the first thing you said to me.
I legitimately thought that.
I don't have a problem with the tone or anything like that. It looks like a fine movie. Here's my problem and that I have with that specific trailer. I don't want to know Joker's backstory. I don't. I don't need to know his backstory. The whole best part about Joker is I don't know who he is. To me, he's just he's a mystery to Batman as he is to the audience, as he is to the readers. That's the best part about Joker. It's like not going, I used to dress up as a clown and then something happened and then I became a super villain clown. It's like going, great, that's sure, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
And to me, and I've read a few things saying, it's not going to be connected to anything. Then I'm not going to go see it. Michael, what do you think of the trailer? I think I'm the one that has that opinion. So let's hear about some masturbation, Michael.
Yeah, because I'm the go-to. No, but I actually really enjoyed the trailer. I was actually quite surprised at how much I enjoyed the trailer. Like, I was a little skeptical at first. I was like, ooh, Joaquin Phoenix, I don't know about that, until I heard the laugh. And until I saw him in the makeup, and I was like, you know what, this could actually be, because like the thing you have to understand about me is that the Joker is one of my favorite villains. Like, he is one of my favorite villains, and like for me, like I agree with Chris to a point that it is good to have the Joker as a mysterious force of anarchy that just wants to destroy Gotham. It's almost like he's the yang to Batman's yin, And that's great. And I just think this is going to be a really entertaining movie to see a man's descent into madness. It could be just a possible... And if it's not tied to... Obviously, like, if it's allegedly not tied to the other universes, that makes it better. Because then, okay, this is just someone's interpretation. This is a story. It's a story arc. And I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I liked how Joaquin Phoenix looked. I was impressed with his approach to the role, and I thought it was really good. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably see it, and yeah.
Thoughts, Jamie?
I'm not sure. Like, it just, I don't know. It's like when I watched Legion, I don't know what I thought. I think I'd have to, watch it. I probably will see it. Like,
I'll see it eventually. I just might not be like going out to the cinema
I'm not
to be like,
I'm not gonna
man.
I'm not going to rush out to see it. But at the same time, I get what you mean about, I don't need to see the origin.
Yeah.
I like some mystery. Like the same thing when they released Wolverine's origin movie.
Yeah, I don't need to see his origin.
I don't need to know about his life before, before the claws. But
that's the best part about his character is not knowing it.
Yeah, and characters need it. Look, the kind of origin story I would love to see regarding Joker would be the turning of Harley Quinn. That would intrigue me. Like the mind games he'd be playing with her and
let's face it, they did a pretty piss poor job in Suicide Squad.
I think we've seen the perfect Joker origin movie already. Christopher Nolan's movie. He appears, he stirs things up, he gets captured by Batman, and unfortunately the actor died, so he couldn't see what he'd do next. That to me, that was the perfect. And on that, the best part about not knowing his origin in that whole entire thing was his story about how he got those scars. Was he lying?
Yeah.
There was multiple different versions of him. That it just makes the character have so much flavour to the point where he's like going, you don't know if it's all true. Is it all? Is he just a crazy person? And you're just going, what? Are you just a crazy person? That's the best.
For all you know, he could just be a dude with makeup on.
Yeah.
Who's just decided one day he could be a shop clerk.
Exactly.
That just snapped,
And that's the best part about that film. And again in that in that where Alfred said sometimes men just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
And he gave that arrow going, he wasn't stealing the diamonds because his son just thought it was a good fun.
Yeah,
Ryan, as the ultimate Batman fan here,
yes,
I guess I'd call you the what's I'm looking for, the authority on Batman in the group. How terrible was the trailer between a 1 and 5? 5 being most terrible, 1 being still terrible.
No, look, I'm gonna
6 being I'm ignoring Chris.
Turns out I'm the only one that's optimistic about this movie.
Well, no, I'm definitely optimistic about it, but here's why. Hear me out. Favourite line.
Yep.
Hear me out. Aliens.
I'm purely treating this as an Elseworld story. Okay. I'm gonna say when I first heard about it, I wasn't looking forward to it at all. I thought, like Chris and like we've all said, and that famous line in one of my favourite Batman comics is the Joker always says, "If I had an origin, it would be always multiple choice." And it's that mystery and it's that enigma, and it's there's been so many different ways. I mean, I then watched the trailer. I watched it probably 3 or 4 times the day it came out, just so I could look at it. I looked at it the first time I saw it, and then I waited a couple of hours, then watch it at lunch, and then watch it at night. I'm gonna see it. I think it's a Joker. It's a Joker for this time, not for the Joker from the comics. Because I saw something on Facebook and I shared it at the same time. It did in the 80s or the 90s. How you get the Joker is you throw him into a vat of chemicals. And 2019, how you get the Joker is you throw him into society.
Yeah.
And I think that this is what this movie is about. It's showing a guy who is already unstable, who's on the fringe, who has an unhealthy relationship with his mother, who is just trying to get through life without... And there is another famous Joker saying, the difference between me and you, this is the Joker saying it, me and you is one bad day. Huh. And I think that this is what this movie is encapsulating. I think that it's showing he's on the cusp and he's trying to stay, and then one day he just wakes up and he says, you know what?
Yeah.
And then he embraces the voices in his head. And that, like what Mike said, I'm interested in seeing a story of a man who descends into madness. Yeah. And I think that this is what it's going to be. If it is completely separate, which from all accounts it is, I'm treating it as an Elseworld story. And I think for me personally, because of my history with the character and with the Batman universe, I will see it and I'll probably enjoy it. But that's... because I can take myself away and say, oh, this is DCU, this is canon. It's not. It's not. I think it's just it's one man who's wanted to tell a Joker story for a very, very long time. he's got the right actor in Joaquin Phoenix. Same as Mike, I had my doubts, and then I saw him in the trailer, and I'm like, you know what?
It's always the laugh is a selling point.
I think it
Everyone
was.
everyone was
to have the Joker
skeptical.
laugh.
Yeah,
Everyone was
when he was
really
sitting in that
skeptical.
comedy club, and you just hear him go the or whatever it was. No,
yeah.
I can't
Everyone
do
was,
Joker
and
laugh.
the same thing with Heath
Yeah.
Ledger. Everyone was like, Heath Ledger.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they released this audio of him doing the laugh. They're like, holy hell,
The-
yes.
that's what the best part about that whole thing is, like, you know, like the Mark Hamill, like, very high pitch,
Oh, I love Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then like this, but then like the Heath Ledger, like,
And each
and
that
that really just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's
slow,
I think,
like
but that
methodical,
shows
like
that's what it is about the character. It's the
Yeah.
Joker. If you get the laugh right, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
look,
But yeah,
and maybe I will never accept any other Joker. I don't know. There's a possibility that I will, and you know, that's their fault. I will compare
Everything
every
to Heath
Joker
Ledger.
to the Heath Ledger and Joker and go, do I think you stack up against that? And the answer is no.
I remember
you
the
don't.
first
But
time.
what about Mark Hamill?
I remember the first
Mark
time I
Hamill's
saw that.
fantastic.
Look, that's a different Joker, and you know, actually, I would, you know, if they're gonna put do a Batman movie inside the new DC universe, bring Mark Hamill back as Joker. That'd be just fantastic.
Anyway,
And
I remember the first
yeah.
time I saw that. I remember the first time I saw Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
As a testament to Heath Ledger's Joker. The first time I watched Dark Knight Rises, my knuckles were white.
you mean
And
the
I
Dark
could not
Knight, yeah?
breathe.
The Dark
Yeah,
Knight.
the
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
the third one.
And
And my knuckles were white, and I could not breathe every time he was on the screen because he was that. There was just that
He was
sheer
fantastic.
Presence.
intensity, and apparently on set too. Like the fear that you see in the co-stars was actual fear because Heath was such an intense actor that him being on set as the Joker would actually scare people, and so the fear you see on the actors' faces is all real.
yeah, and
Like it's
because when I watch Batman Begin, I love Batman Begin.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah, that was
but
amazing.
then when they sort of announced, oh, there's a guy who's also got a bit of flair of theatrics. And I saw
Yeah.
a Joker. I was like, oh, Joker. We've already had a Joker. But then I was like, holy cow!
Not
no, we
this
didn't.
one.
We've never had a Joker. We've never had a. This is Joker, and
He was, and I agree with you. And he is a measuring stick. He is a
and
measuring.
it's very
a very
unfortunate.
big measuring stick.
But thankfully, we had someone lay a turd in Jared Leto before this movie, so then essentially
Wash. It's a palate.
it's a palate cleanse going.
But a palate cleanser that.
I agree.
That's
Look, and Mark Hamill is fantastic in the animated world
And
of
I
Joker.
still maintain that the Jared Leto Joker isn't Joker, it's Jason Todd that
Yeah,
Joker turned
yeah,
into
it
Joker.
makes sense.
I
Yeah.
still maintain that is why
And there's
he's the way
those
he is.
clues that we're given through just to give you just enough doubt that you think, hey, we're not saying no. We're not saying no.
I
Yeah,
maintain
that's right.
it's not Joker, and I will always maintain it.
But
it
there's
is.
there's a way. Look, the new Matt Ryan.
Yep. Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves, isn't it? Yeah.
Matt someone.
Matt.
His name is Matt. He did the Planet of the Apes
Yes.
trilogy,
Yeah.
and also a show called Felicity, but let's not talk about that.
So did J.J.
his-
Abrams.
His trilogy was supposed to be like the 90s.
The
maybe
three
first one would
different
be in the
levels.
90s,
Year one.
which means this new Joker movie set in the 80s.
Yep.
It's possibility you could get Joker 1 in for that if they decided to do Joker
You
again
could.
for Batman.
Because he's going to do year one Batman, current Batman, and old Batman, as in Dark Knight Rises.
And let's be honest. If this movie is successful, this is going to be they'll be like, this is the Joker for the DCEU.
Yeah.
If the movie isn't successful, they'll be like,
And I'll be okay.
Adam
with
And
that.
I really hope, they don't,
Never mind.
because if they do, I'll think less of the movie, because I'm happy to have it as a one-off, one shot.
yeah.
there's no such thing in the movie
Elfro.
universe as one-off
one-off
one-shots.
one-shots. Yes, there is.
It's just-
You could, you know what? If the director
it's
says
called
they-
it's called The Latest Mummy. that was going to be the birth.
that was going to be the birth
new-
of the dark.
yeah,
And you
the
know,
old
and you know
school
what's really sad
monster.
about that? I would be on board with a monster movie like universe of like all the monsters.
But they're
living
going to
in
do
the
like
same
this. They're
universes.
going to do like
Yeah.
Creature from the Black
Yeah.
Lagoon.
Lagoon, Dracula,
Yeah.
like.
Or they already did
Wolfman.
Dracula.
Actually, you know what? And let's talk about like an underappreciated movie, the Dracula movie with what's that actor's
Yeah.
name?
Luke
Keanu
Evans.
Reeves?
Luke Evans. Yeah,
That's
Dracula Untold.
yeah. I love
No,
that movie.
that was
That was
that was
awesome.
technically supposed to be the
It-
first of the.
That was the first of the thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that movie. That movie's. I just find that movie
I
just so
reckon
like fantastic.
if they
yeah.
didn't
It was awesome.
Yeah.
if they didn't do the Mummy and started with a different kind of creature, it would have probably done alright if they also didn't cast Tom Cruise.
But I think also
and
a lot of people...
also if it wasn't so close to the Brendan Fraser movies.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of people, and me too, when I first heard they were doing it, I'm like, oh, it's a remake. It's a remake of the Brendan Fraser
And
movie.
let's be honest, they should have just done a remake of the Brendan Fraser movies.
Yeah.
Like, I know they're trying to do a tone of, like... And I know that in Tom Cruise's movies, he has to do a lot of running because of his height. It's easy to hide someone's height when they're doing a lot of running.
Yes.
But and that's actually not a lie. That's actually just like factual now. Like it's easy with the.
I could just imagine him in a dialogue scene. He's running.
But essentially, what made those? I understand they were going for a different tone of the Mummy movie, but that was really just not like no one was in the mood for that kind of tone from a Mummy.
Did you
movie.
watch it?
I have not even watched. I
watched it.
I
Me too.
don't care. I really don't care.
It was like mediocre. I will say that.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of good stuff in it. Like Russell Crowe was phenomenal.
Dr.
Like,
Jekyll and
Okay. See, there you go.
Yeah,
He was
so
really good.
I could tell that he was probably going to be the one that unites all the.
Yeah,
Which
he
is
was
cool.
like the night nurse in the Marvel Netflix show.
Yeah.
You know,
Except Tom Cruise, that Mummy film was the wrong place to start for building a universe.
Yeah, it's not the right. It's not the right movie for a universe builder. But anyway, let's not talk about the failures of movies. Let's talk about a movie that we actually saw today.
Say the word.
Just say the word. Shazam!
Shazam. Okay.
Oh,
So, spoiler warning. We are going to just talk about spoilers, theories, and everything spoilery. So if you don't like spoilers,
Maybe fast forward about 20 minutes.
By the time this
Yeah.
podcast is out, it will have been out for a week. So if you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
shame on you.
And then maybe
Yeah.
skip forward 20 minutes, 25 minutes, or we do
Or just
tend
pause
around
it.
maybe. Yeah, pause it.
Go and watch it.
Go and watch it,
back.
yeah. Come
So,
back because... Yeah.
let's all just give a rating out of 10. In a circle, I'm going to give this movie a 7. Michael.
I'm going to give it an 8.
8, yeah, 8.5.
Solid 8. Yeah.
7 seems a bit high.
Really?
So, okay, look.
Now put it next to Captain Marvel.
I know, comparing it to that, it's a much better film.
What was that phrase? Turd in the wind? Or something?
I thought it was a fine film. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Zachary Levi as Shazam more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still was going, John Cena would have been better.
But John Cena.
and I keep going.
John Cena doesn't look like Shazam.
I know.
He's quite short too. I think Zachary Levi's a bit more...
Look,
yeah.
He's like 6'1",
I
6'2".
enjoyed the film. I thought it was a good movie. If it wasn't for that scene where they, brought in the Shazam family, I would have said a 5 out of 10. To me, I was there going, yeah, it's cool. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, cool. And that scene was like, oh, okay, okay, cool. And I think maybe that's why they did it, because they realized, okay, this is a cool movie.
Well, it's the same thing with Aquaman and the Kraken.
Sure.
That really made me stood up. I was going, Aquaman, yeah, pretty good. And then I was like, freaking Kraken!
Yeah.
Really? Because
yeah.
and I guess it's like the different. I guess it's also a different taste. I love Aquaman. And
You've always loved Aquaman.
And like even in like people saying like to me the bit when they did the opening where they did in Aquaman where they did so that they played the Icelandic song but in the background it shows like the family growing up. I was like man, that's it. Yep, you've got me.
Yeah.
You've got me solid and like because it's a crazy thing to do, like going, in the middle of this, like, high action movie, and the big romance isn't Mira and Aquaman. It's his dad spending like 20, 30 years waiting for this woman to return, and then I'm like, anyway, Shazam.
I knew we'd come back to Aquaman.
Aquaman is the new Star Wars.
Shazam. Okay, Ryan, what are your thoughts on Shazam?
Look, I loved it. The only thing is, it's been a long time since, and I mentioned this to the guys, but it's been a long time since we've had a long-running Shazam comic. So,
that's true, actually, yeah.
There was a Jeff Johns run that went 12 issues.
That was pretty good, though.
In the New 52, which was fantastic. It's Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns, he does good work.
There's a new current run that's just started that's 4 issues deep, which is great. Tom King, I think, writes that. But literally over time, since the 70s, there hasn't really been the Marvel family, and they do call it the Marvel family still, going back to the roots. But I have not laughed as hard in a comic book movie, I don't think, ever, You know,
It was the Hadouken, wasn't it?
It was just spoiler alert. You know, the little Asian kid who's from Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah.
One of my favorite characters on that TV
Yeah.
show, and to see him in the movie, and he was amazing, and to see him as part of the Marvel family. First thing he does when he sees a demon, throws lightning, yells out a Bogan, you know, and we all were laughing.
That was
very
funny.
loudly.
And let me. Okay, so. Whilst I'm more lukewarm on you than you guys were, the scene that literally had me in stitches was when he was giving his big villain speech in the sky.
Yes.
And I can't hear you. He was like going, "You're a mile away. There's traffic and things going on."
I think seeing Mark Strong. Seeing Mark Strong in a good villain role again was great. Obviously, he was Sinestro in Green Lantern, which in my opinion was the only good thing about Green Lantern. He was fantastic there.
He's phenomenal.
No, Blake Lively was a good thing about Green Lantern. Blake Lively. That's a good thing about Green Lantern movie.
I'm avoiding a pun right now, but we'll move on.
But no, I really enjoyed it. Make sure post-credit scenes were great, especially the funny one towards the end. The Aquaman references.
Yeah.
The end of the movie as well with another familiar face. Well, no, I can't say familiar face, but a familiar body coming in.
A man of many legs.
Look, I laughed from start to finish. I enjoyed it. Zachary Levi was fantastic. I really liked the kid who played Freddy and also the kid who played Billy. I think they had really good chemistry.
Yep.
They played off each other well, and I believe that they built that friendship. But to me, another great part was just when he got the powers and he was learning and he was in that shop and I'm bulletproof. Oh, wait, hold on, you've only shot. What if your suit's bulletproof? Let's shoot him in the head. And just kids. But he played
kids.
the kid in the. If you're bestowed with the powers more stronger than Superman and you're a 12-year-old kid, they did what you would do. You're going to have some fun. And that's Mike asked the question, is he more powerful than Superman? And technically he is, but he just doesn't have that intelligence and that experience and that life lessons, which is why Superman will always come over it. But look, solid 8. I enjoyed it, made me laugh, and I'll definitely see it again.
Did you guys know that Elvis Presley, his little cape that he wore on stage, was fashioned after Shazam?
Oh, was it?
Wow.
He was a massive Shazam fan.
Oh, okay.
Even his some necklace in his company had the Shazam symbol,
the lightning symbol,
and stuff like that. Yeah.
So, Jamie, your overall thoughts? You as the biggest Zachary Levi fan here.
I am.
Yep.
I am a huge Zachary Levi fan.
Tell me about this movie.
It was a movie about a boy that.
No, Jack.
No, look, I loved it. Kind of thing. I loved how that he did the whole. I just got my powers. Let's muck around. That is what.
I think that's what we would do.
I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah.
I would do the same thing now, but I really loved that. While it was hilarious, it touched on a whole lot of heavy subjects, like especially him finding his mum.
Yeah, that was a hardcore scene. I'll admit that.
Yeah, and then it's like, no, I know who my family is.
The issue I have with that scene was that I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, Aquaman was very predictable. Doesn't take away the
it doesn't take away the impact of that scene.
No, it doesn't. You're right. That's
like when we watched Thor, we knew that he was going to get banished, but man, Anthony Hopkins.
That's true. That's
he made. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway,
what was your favorite part of the movie?
All of it. No, I really loved Mark Strong. Yeah, especially in the
I just enjoy him in movies. So
when he walks through the door and all these,
the
seven sins come out of him.
Or when he threw his brother out the window,
literally,
that was awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. It's not. Do you think Billy Batson would have passed the test if the sins were still locked up?
I don't reckon he would have.
I don't. And my thought was, I agree with you, Jamie. I don't think he would have.
I think he was the last resort. And I agree. I don't think
the last person.
I don't think he would have. And the Wizards
because if 50 other people had failed that test, it means it's a hard test.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like he learned. I feel like
he learned it towards the end of the movie.
But I also think they also play the part where saying that because he'd failed once, maybe he was being a bit too harsh on the trials because
Yeah.
one person went bad. We all know who that is.
Yeah.
Blackadder,
Yeah.
because one of his
Sworn
champions
living.
went bad. He had gone, okay, well,
I need to have
I need to make here's the bar now. Here's
Yeah.
the new bar
Yeah.
for being a champion, and you know what? It's probably too high.
I think Billy did mean well a lot. Like, I mean, like, yeah, he was, you know,
cocky.
cocky, and he was.
But you know, he wasn't pure of heart. He stole.
No.
Yeah, but the means to what he was doing
Sure.
was, you know, he really was just trying to find his mum
Yeah.
by any means necessary. So he's doing all this.
And the mistakes you're right, the mistakes he made were because, like, the issue with the police. It was because
Yeah.
he was trying to look up someone who he thought was his mother.
Yeah.
It's not like he was trying to break in to steal stuff.
I
you
think
know?
more so by the end of it, he became pure of spirit.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so he
Saw a
grew
little
into the
bit.
character there.
We saw a
Yeah.
little bit of that when he was facing up to the bullies as well.
Yeah.
The hero's heart come through when he like stood up to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
I
a
love
very
that truck.
yeah.
Where's my car? I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he barely knew these people, and he, you know, those guys were clearly quite larger than him, and he's
Yeah.
just like, you know what, something's wrong about this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, you know.
And they do that, and you know, because they do those sorts of scenes because like there's a time frame to
Yeah.
a movie. They can't show him doing that.
Yeah.
It's the same as Captain America jumping onto the grenade drink training camp.
Yeah.
They do their scenes so you can say that's the hero. This
Yeah.
is what he's made of in a
Yeah.
quick minute scene rather than showing like you know the long
As
going
someone
out.
who's like hardly ever read any of the comics, that you know how at the very end they've all got the family of
Yes.
Yeah.
Shazam. Does that mean they're like that forever?
They are
Or
able
was
to
it
draw
temporary?
on the wizard because there were 7 wizards.
Yeah, I
7
know
deadly
that,
sins,
but
7
like-
wizards to match it.
Yeah.
And
From now
I
on,
didn't know that.
are they all Shazams?
if they were going for the comics, yes. But they each have different power sets. Like
Yeah, so they don't.
one
So
had the
he
Hercules hand.
he has all the powers.
All the powers,
and they
some
get
powers.
one of his.
So
they get like a
the
subset of
purple
his
girl
powers.
had the speed. The green guy,
Okay.
I can't remember all their names. He had the Hercules strength.
Yeah.
Freddie had the flight,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he wasn't really built. So they all
Yeah.
had portions of Shazam's
Oh,
strength.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the seven
but they
yeah.
still turned into the ideal form of themselves. So they
Yeah.
still turned into like muscular humans, the perfect form of their
Yeah.
that they would be if they were perfect. Essentially, so they still became that sort
Yeah.
of perfect human. But yeah, so Shazam is one with all the powers, and they can just distribute it
Yeah.
across.
No,
the
because I'm
world.
just
Yeah.
curious because if they go ahead with the second one, is he just going to have a whole team of
No. So they're all
Yeah.
that would be a bit too much.
they'd all
Yeah.
revert to their yeah, because that's the other thing. I think they released this movie way too early, way too close to Endgame, so it's going to lose. Like,
It's going to lose that back end
Yeah, it will,
Yeah.
yeah.
trailing ticket that she normally would have, but given how actually from reading it, the production cost was less,
Yeah.
and you could tell it wasn't as big as the other movies. They don't need to make
That much
$1
money.
billion on
yeah, but
this.
you'd still like it.
You like 700 million would be like
And I
would be
think it
more
will
than
get
enough
that.
to be
Yeah.
like okay, that's a good solid movie. Yeah.
It is a good kids flick.
Oh, absolutely.
I
It was
felt like
fun.
a kid.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun, except for the scene in the boardroom where demons are eating people. But
Yeah, that was also. I
Yeah.
wasn't
No,
saying
but like
kids.
Chris, I don't know if you said it on the last podcast or in a podcast or we weren't even on a podcast, but you were saying
Yeah, I said
that
we
kids
need to see that
need to see that evil.
true evil.
Oh,
so
definitely.
then when they see someone standing up to it, that teaches them courage.
It's a lesson,
it teaches
yeah.
them like going, regardless of how scary it is, I'm going to put my foot forward and be righteous
Yeah.
and be good.
Yeah.
And that's a
that's
good
it.
lesson for every kid. And that's
Yeah.
that's what I like that's why they have those scenes where it's like a horrific evil.
Yeah.
Because you say, yeah, it's horrific evil, but the hero still stands up to it. This hero doesn't
Yeah.
run away.
and I always thought this movie was going to be a fun movie, and you know what, it was.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch, and you're right, it's a great kids movie. You know, I think it's good.
Well, that's what I think that they nailed with this movie, I think, and why I enjoyed it so much was that Shazam's always been very much the child at heart sort of thing, because that's literally what the hero is.
Yeah.
But that's what I think they nailed in this movie was the spirit of Shazam. They nailed that, just that juvenile, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he spent like half the movie mucking around with his
Yeah.
powers, but that's what a kid would do.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
Go
And it
buy
was funny
beer and that kind of
entertaining
stuff.
and,
You know?
yeah.
I
That's
would
why I
like
liked
to
it.
purchase your
Yeah,
finest
finest
beer.
Yeah, so my 8 is because of the spirit of the movie. It was
Yeah.
bang on to what Shazam is.
I agree.
And I like how they didn't show Superman's face because they're not sure who's the actor going to be. So that's also really
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
because they don't know who's going to play
I
him.
like to think it was Chuck Norris who just walked in.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It wasn't even in the
know,
script.
if they had locked up Henry Cavill, you would
They
have
would've seen his
You would have
face.
seen his face, but they haven't. They haven't.
But I reckon it
locked
was still pretty funny that it was.
I wasn't expecting it at all. It was just when he's like,
No,
"Hey, I brought one of my friends,"
like-
I'm like, "Oh."
I thought if they didn't do it, it would be bad because essentially Shazam in the comics is so tied to Superman because basically it's even in this film, but in the comics like. Billy Batson like worships Superman, like
Yeah.
really like
Yeah,
he's like,
definitely.
oh my god, it's
So
Superman.
he's Peter Parker to Iron Man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes. And I think, and that also one other thing that really, really made me go, yes, was in the when the Wizard was talking to Billy Batson and he was saying, look, I gave my power to this, and you sort of got that visual scene, and I could see what we all know is Black Adam
Yeah.
looked like The Rock. I'm just like, just show me, but it was a nice little
Maybe
thing
it
to say,
was.
hey.
Because the Rock's credits.
Yeah, so they
names
might
were in the
yeah,
credits.
because
So
he's been pushing for Shazam for
they
about
might
10
have
years.
used his body as like the like just
Yeah.
Template,
the
yeah.
template thing. So
And I think I've heard that they did that, but that little thing showing him, and like they sort of said, he gave the ancient Egypt angle, and he's the reason why, which essentially in the comics he is. He is a bad man. And I really like that. They just gave us a tiny little bit, and it made me say,
please get a sequel.
Which means when they do bring Black Adam, it'll be special.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I can't, and The Rock can do no wrong in my eyes, so
Yeah.
bring it on.
No, the Rock can sell tickets.
I would like to see. I think they are going to do a Black Adam. I think the plan
are.
was to do a Black Adam movie. So essentially, it'll be that origin story of like.
They're going to do that before it's a Shazam sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the origin of him getting the powers and then like becoming evil. And,
So I think
you
it'll be good.
That's I would enjoy that. That's I think that's a cool.
And because it's
And
got the
just-
Rock in it, it'll sell.
No, and just for me, but the passion that he's had behind this, like he's been talking
Yeah.
about a Black Adam movie for 10 years or close to 10 years
Yeah.
saying I want this, I will put my own money behind it, I will do
the
this.
thing that I'm like that I would have preferred The Rock as Shazam, not Black Adam. But I guess
You got a bit of a fetish for wrestlers you want to tell us about?
no, like
I'm down with that. I love my rep. I love my
I
wrestling.
thought Zachary Levi was great. I just would have. That's just my personal opinion. Like, because essentially, and you're gonna have this issue where you're gonna have Dwayne Johnson, the villain, going against Zachary Levi, the hero.
Yeah, but Zachary's, it's like he's a kid. And Zachary has been working out
He looked really good in the movie.
constantly.
Oh, look, he
Like,
looked. It
I
looked
saw in an
great.
interview, he said it's a bit like someone asked him, is it a suit or is it all you? He goes, it's about 50-50. It's like
Yeah,
he works out and he's bulking up.
He
and-
bulked up, but he couldn't become Henry Cavill overnight. Like,
No.
But
most men can't become Henry Cavill or Chris Hemsworth overnight. You don't. If you don't have the frame, you can't gain that sort of muscle.
By the next film,
It might be
he'll
more.
ready.
It might be more 70-30, like
Yeah.
him versus
And you know
someone.
what? I watched the movie and I didn't see him and go, oh, he's a bit too small to play Shazam. I'm like, okay, I'm like,
Now look,
I
you know,
was just captivated.
and that's the thing with set photos. It always looks better in the movie. It looks better in motion.
Yeah.
Because when you first saw the set photo, I was like, "Oh my god, that looks so shit." I was like, "Oh
But
my."
they said the same thing
goodness.
about Captain Marvel. Oh, why is she wearing a green suit?
yeah.
Why
Yeah.
hasn't she got a butt?
It's like they can fix. They can fix the button post. They can.
Why
add
has
that,
Tom
that's
Holland got a
fine.
nicer ass than Brie Larson?
Hey, a good butt's hard to earn, so that's
Oh, yeah.
That's,
I have
Yeah,
a
that takes
fantastic
work.
butt.
that takes
I do.
that takes
One of my
commitment.
earliest memories
Yeah.
is some 16-year-old girl. I was 16 at the same time.
I was going to say,
saying that I had a hot butt,
I was going to
and I
say,
have that for life.
did she get a piece of candy and say, get into my
No.
car?
Wow,
Because
that's
back then I was frigid.
anyway. But yeah, look. So
Yeah.
now that we have this movie, where do you think DC is going to move on from here? What do you think's next for DC?
Well-
So we know a few things. One, new Suicide Squad,
Which is a reboot,
James
complete
Gunn?
reboot.
but it's going to still be tied into the universe because they're bringing back the girl who played Amanda Waller.
Viola
Viola Davis or
Captain
something.
Boomerang, same actor, he's back.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that Joel, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
so
yeah.
they're bringing a few.
Jai
Jai Courtney or
Courtney.
something. Yeah. And essentially, they're going to bring in Idris Elba, who's not going to play.
They first brought him in as Deadshot.
But he's gonna play
I'm
Deadshot.
guessing James Gunn wants.
He's going to play Tiger. What's his name?
Bronze Tiger.
Bronze
Yeah.
Tiger. Probably.
That's what the.
He's kind of like a B level. He's just like a martial artist.
No, what I want him to play is like the snake dude, like the I can't remember his name.
Apex.
Yeah, the guy who like transforms himself into a snake by like surgeries and is all weird and stuff. Anyway, that's the Cobra guy.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. I just can't remember the name off the top of my head.
That's super weird and freaky. They're not going to do that. That's fine.
Copperhead.
Yeah, Copperhead. Yeah,
I know they got King Shark in it.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Actually, he can make a King Shark
quite well.
Chris gets to see Street Shark. It's like,
Street Shark. I hope he's
so
surfing in the
there's that
road.
movie. There's also the Birds of Prey movie, which I'm really iffy about.
I forgot about that.
Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. So, I mean, they've got some names in it, like obviously Margot Robbie.
It's like a Margot Robbie film, and I'm like going, why?
But
why?
I'm a bit concerned about the lack. Like, there is a bit of publicity about it, but there's a very. They're not. I feel they're not pushing it as hard as some of the.
Because it's not.
It's just a lady Suicide Squad, isn't it?
Yes.
Look, Suicide Squad 2 has got me interested because James Gunn's on board.
And then the thing,
Yeah,
the
true.
Birds of Prey was Black
Canary,
Harley Quinn was
Huntress.
never a part of the Birds of Prey. The Birds of Prey were.
But it's only because
It
she
was
was so
Batwoman,
popular.
Huntress,
Huntress
Batgirl,
and Canary, yeah.
Black Canary.
Because of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because she's so popular.
She got so popular, and because
she did.
that year at Comic Con it was
Or
700 Harley Quinns.
Not even at Comic Con, just at the local shopping centre sometime. Daddy's little monster shirts everywhere. It was really insane.
Yeah, so I was reading something really interesting that there was a rumor that the villain was going to be at one stage in their thing a Supergirl who someone had captured and then basically put like there's a whole mind control device on there to try like get her free of that. I was going, that's cool, and then they went to Black Mask and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
Look, I like
I'm like,
Black
okay,
Mask is a good Batman villain, and Ewan McGregor behind it. I just want to see more of it before I make a decision. You know.
But apart from that, they've got another Aquaman movie coming out that they've announced. They want to do a trench film because apparently they want to do.
The trench was awesome.
But I mean,
But they're doing it like as a horror movie, aren't they?
yes, but
the trench.
Who would be the hero in that? Like, is it going to be like
it'll be a natural disaster, like the perfect storm. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Well, it's like not only is there a storm, there's like what's that? Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Basically, remake Alien,
Yeah.
but on a submarine with one of the trench creatures.
That's cool.
Ta-da.
But so that's all that's happening. But again, they have the main issue. What's next for Superman? What's next for Batman?
Well, then there's that Wonder Woman movie coming out too, Wonder Woman 84.
Which is again ignoring the first one.
Yeah, and it's a period piece too.
Is it ignoring
Set
the
in
first one?
1984.
I heard that they're pretty much
I thought they were getting that guy back from the first.
No, yeah, they got Chris Pine back. He's doing
Yeah.
some flashback scenes.
But I mean,
Oh, okay.
because
we don't know.
inconsistent though because she,
No, we don't know if it's flashbacks or if it's just her mind. But
but he clearly died in the first.
No, he's dead.
Spoiler alert.
But it could just be like she's seeing him as a conscience sort of thing.
Yeah.
We don't know what that's about. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt there.
Well, they've got Cheetah as who is quite a formidable Wonder Woman opponent.
But the actress playing Cheetah,
Kristen Wiig
which they approached Emma Stone. Emma Stone said no, so they were Kristen Wiig.
Emma Stone would.
I'm not saying she's better. I'm saying that's what happened.
I don't
do
like
like
any of those castings. So
No.
Anyway, look, it's going to be good. Because,
Going to make a lot of money.
No, sorry,
No. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot is going to do a wonderful performance.
Yeah.
As always, yeah.
And I'm not saying that just because she could kill me with her bare hands.
Yeah. But you could. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But,
Or with
you
a
know,
gun, either one.
It'll just be another lackluster villain like the first one.
Oh, don't even get me started on the villain from the first
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
But I think we can. I mean, as we're talking about it, obviously they've also announced the New Gods movie. They're going to do New Gods. But essentially, I don't think they're going to get that movie out before Marvel gets their Eternals film out, so that kind of kills them. So essentially, look, the issue that DC have is a very real one. Marvel wants to destroy them,
Yep,
and they have the clout to destroy them.
definitely.
They destroyed Batman vs Superman with Civil War, so like they have the ability, and now they
Have the
have the
technology.
X-Men.
Yep.
And now, unfortunately,
Fantastic Four, even.
X-Men more important. And now I think that kind of spells the death of this whole DC movies and superhero movies for them,
Yeah.
because I don't think they can
Well, I don't think that they should try and compete. They should
Well, no,
concentrate on making good movies. People will watch them.
That's right. That's what I reckon.
that's but you're thinking like a fan, not an
Not like an
executive.
executive,
Yeah,
yeah.
who go, if I
Yeah,
can't compete
but-
in this era or this genre, I'm
No,
not
because
going
they're
to
so far
compete.
behind. And I maintain
Yeah.
that Marvel will go down eventually.
Actually, I agree with Jamie. I think there will come a time where we'll all be like, Marvel will start to
I'm
very
even
slowly,
starting to
but they will
feel
start to...
feeling
If
a bit of
let's
the
say
dread.
so essentially yes, I would say if they were going to just do the same thing, bring heroes up, put them in the Avengers, blah blah blah, that's fine. But now they have X-Men. And
Yeah.
now they're going to do
Do
a whole
something
bunch
good
of
with it.
X-Men movies, and then that's going to be different because
But
they'll show you good
you're
X-Men.
assuming that they're going to do it well.
Look, I have. Look, here's the thing. Based upon what they have done so far, I do not have any reason to doubt that they're going to do well.
Yeah, that's all you can go on.
Yeah, all we can go off is what they've done now so
Yeah.
far.
Now that they're out of the Marvel ban.
And what they've done is they've done 20 odd great films.
20.
Two
Exactly 20.
movies that are, but you know what? Those movies
That's
aren't.
still a good record.
I know, 20, too
20,
bad out
yeah.
of 22.
Yeah.
Look, if you that is a great track record. So I can't see them, and I really can't see them dropping the X-Men ball too badly.
No.
Where they will fail is if they try to go, let's make it about Wolverine again.
Which
I
I think
don't
they
think-
already are.
Oh, really?
I think there already talks about casting Wolverine.
No, look, you have to cast Wolverine, but just don't make him the like.
He can't be the X-Men.
You can't do what they've done that
See-
last time when they had he's the most important. He wasn't. He's not
He's
the
just
most.
popular.
He's not
Yeah.
even the most important. Yeah.
Everyone knows Wolverine, but give people a chance to learn new about the.
Yeah.
Well, see, I like
Other
what Chris
X-Men.
was saying about how I think you were saying in the messages, Chris, about Cyclops.
Yeah, Cyclops
I
should
actually-
be.
Cyclops needs to
I
be
want
Captain
to be-
America
I
of
want
X-Men.
Cyclops.
Yes.
But that's what he is in rule. That's
That's
what
he is in the comics.
In
and
the
he has
comics,
always
he
been
is.
in the
He's
comics.
the Paragon leader.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
the leader of the X-Men. That's what he
And
is.
he
He's
has, he has a
symbol.
very tragic backstory in terms of
Yeah.
basically being kidnapped by Mr. Sinister and becoming a tool of his for a long period of time before becoming,
I really can't wait
They should
to
start with
Great
that.
story.
Yeah.
Great story.
Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine if they started with that.
Oh,
Him being a tool.
Because
And then he has that path to
because essentially
redemption.
when you fight, when he because you want to have that bit where he actually fights Mr. Sinister, then there's a whole
Yes.
backstory behind that. It's like going, you turned me into this, and
Well,
And that's the end of the
let's-
movie, because
yeah.
at the end of the movie, that's when he becomes Cyclops.
yeah.
Let's dive in. Let's play with this a little bit. I don't know you had other plans, but I don't care. It's X-Men, and you're going
I love X-Men. X-Men's one of my favorite.
would you want them to do like what they did with the MCU, like have independent and then an X-Men film? Like, as in you have independent X-Men on their journey.
No,
and then they
because
get
the X-Men has always been a team.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
so
I
you,
agree.
you don't have to be like Storm movie, like
Yeah,
I don't think
Rogue
that would hold.
movie.
I honestly don't think.
And
that would
honestly, and to his point, some X-Men can't hold up without the others.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the X-Men so good, is that
Yeah.
they're a
They're a
team.
team.
So-
and the thing that I love about X-Men, which they haven't really shown in any, they showed a little bit. Like, they showed some people with some signs going, no more mutants, no more. But they haven't shown really the hate, but like the
and
real
the hate and the fear.
the fear, and then
yeah.
and the thing is, in the X-Men universe, Magneto has so many, and they try to do that a little bit in First Class, the other movies where he's like going, we should be above all the other mutants, humans, because we're better, and all they're going, yeah,
Homo
but
superior.
but in the comics, it's not that. There is him saying, we're better than the humans, but there's also that point of he also rescues mutants from hate groups who want to kill the mutants,
Yeah.
and he rescues them saying, what, and he brings them
Yeah.
all in the shelter and gives them a sanctuary, and that's
Genosha,
why,
yeah.
and that's why all these mutants fought
That's
him,
why I like Magneto.
because that's why he's going. But then the question is he then the villain? In my mind, no.
No, he's not.
and that's
He's
what
trying
makes
to save his
Magneto.
race.
He's trying to save his race from hate groups who
Yeah.
want to kill his species of.
Yeah.
And then you have Charles who's going, but you're doing it wrong. We should
I
show
think-
them that we're useful.
Yeah.
And then he's going, but why should? And then that's what makes X-Men so great is like going, you should watch an X-Men movie, and this is one thing saying, and there's a scene that's done really well in say Hellboy 2, where like where she gets like the girl gets really mad at the crowd. It's like, all we're trying to do is help you stupid people, and all you do is hate. And that's what the feeling when you watch an X-Men movie. That's the feeling you should get. You should get angry when the heroes win because then the people hate them. You should be going. They just saved your useless human butts. You should be mad.
And that's what the
behind
comics and the history has been. I mean, that's the thing. Charles Xavier and Magneto want the same thing. Charles Xavier just goes about it a different way, a peaceful way, where Magneto is like, let's meet force with force.
Yeah, Magneto's like going, they shot first.
Yeah, exactly.
And
we're going out in public, we're copping bottles to the head.
Did. They shot first. And so like he's like going, hey, they shot first, we'll shoot last.
And they're just the same philosophy.
Sapiens and your guns. But essentially, I want and here's the key thing: the casting of Magneto is going to be very important on what they're going to do.
Casting of everything.
No. Magneto is the key casting here. Yeah. I really like Fassbender. I would like them to bring Fassbender, but then no one else.
Would you want an older?
I would like an older one. Yeah,
he was always older in the.
But not as old as McKellen?
No, because you want him for like say 9 films.
Yes.
So you want an actor.
So maybe 40s and 50s.
Because me and
so I've got a few names off the top of my head. So one, Sean Bean.
Yeah. Okay.
But he would die in the first film.
I was going to say he had the habit of dying in movies.
Liam Neeson.
I don't know.
I think he might be.
I don't know.
A bit too old, but
2 years old.
Daniel Craig is
we were talking about it.
my next.
Me and Michael were even talking in the car on the way here. The Lionel Luther guy.
Yeah, he would be.
He's a brilliant actor.
What, John Glover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lionel Luther from
Smallville.
I just don't know if he has the.
As an older Magneto,
and here's the thing, and I know that all comic characters are buff, but I do want Magneto to be a bit more physical fit than say Ian McKellen's like going.
He's never been scrawny or anything like that.
Magneto's not a scrawny man. He's meant to be a physically
built,
imposing person.
He needs to be imposing.
Yeah, he's very charismatic. That's the thing about Magneto is he has the charisma.
Cult leader essentially.
Because there was actually there was a really funny that Dorky Biz thing where like they said X-Men in Magneto in the cinematic universe. And he goes, "Oh, you're throwing a metal shield at me. Oh, cool. Oh, Iron Man, you're completely surrounded by metal. Oh, Thanos, you put the most powerful stones in the universe inside a metal glove." And that because when you think about how like his power, he is the most powerful X-Men because what do we all have in society? Metal.
What's in the Earth? What holds the Earth in orbit?
And that's what makes him so
Look around
powerful.
the house right now. How many things could he crush up and use to kill us all?
And that's why in the comics and in all the fiction for X-Men, Magneto is considered an apocalypse level
5.
Level 5.
Or mega class mutant as they call it in the comics, basically. And also like and what I would also like to see happen is obviously I want to see a good Gambit. We've talked X-Men class. Who cares? You know what? Let's talk X-Men. Let's talk about a good Gambit.
Yes, please.
No,
yes.
But I would like
Let's
to
make Gambit great again.
I want to see the Gambit story before and after. Before and after when he meets Mrs. Sinister. So when his powers start actually because what a lot of people don't realize is that the power he has is his power turned down to 20% or lower. Because he was so afraid that he was losing control of his power that he was like, I can't, like, it's becoming too much. Because what his actual power is complete control over kinetic energy, not just things he's touching, but he could literally go, "Oh, your heart beating, that's beating by kinetic energy." No, it's not. And then your blood would just stop between your body, and then you just fall over dead because he's controlling the kinetic energy around you. So that's his power. So I didn't know that. But he became so bad that he had to go to Mr. Sinister, who went, "Okay, cool, you know what? I'm gonna
dial it down a little.
Just turn down your head a bit. But I also need you to kill this whole entire underground race of humans,
the Morlocks."
The Morlocks, and I want to see that storyline. So because it's really interesting, like. We all like him because he's all like, "Hey, I'm more sorry." But he's actually a really interesting character.
He is,
because in one of the comic arcs as well, you actually see a Gambit from another timeline, from another world, who didn't have his powers turned down, and he's like, he's insane, like the amount of power he has. He's like going, "Oh, that's what you could have been."
I agree. Gambit is fantastic, and we've only seen They haven't utilised him in the. We saw a little bit of him in one of the Wolverine movies. Origins, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah. I'm really surprised they didn't do him from the beginning.
No, because he is technically not meant to start as an X-Men. He's meant to start as like a villain.
Yeah, exactly.
He joins the X-Men,
Oh.
and that's where we need to sort of. That's the.
That's cool. I'd like to see that.
Yeah. Because you've got your core X-Men. We all know, like your Cyclops, your Beast, and all that.
But
and I think that's what I want to.
What I would like to see is how, like, so Rogue. Let's talk Rogue. Rogue. Let's talk Rogue's powers because, like, Rogue's powers. Yes, they are meant. In the current state, it's a damaging thing to another person.
Yep.
When she actually, but the whole thing is, if she actually bothered to learn them, it's actually not damaging. She could literally just become. She could sort of take from people and not kill them. But she never really wants to go down that path at all. Like in the later on in the comics, she does. She actually learns how to use her powers properly. It's actually really cool because she doesn't actually have to kill them.
So she collects.
Yeah, she just can collect powers.
And
then use them. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so she's gonna have one at a time, or can she?
No, she can.
Okay, wow, yeah.
That's Rogue at the ultimate level with her training her power. But she never trains her power because she's so afraid of the power.
So essentially, from the show Heroes,
she's Peter Petrelli, basically.
Yes.
She comes in contact with a mutant, touches them once, gets the powers. But she never trains it a lot, so that's why she's always very dangerous to others because she doesn't want to learn all the control of power.
Yeah.
I agree.
But what will be really interesting is she's, again, same thing with the game, but she's a villain at the beginning.
Then would she be as powerful as Magneto?
No, because that's the thing. She is, because in theory she could just touch Magneto once and be like, well, yeah,
Thanks,
there you go. Thanks, buddy.
Then that's it. So it's potentially like she can collect these powers, like Chris was saying, and just think of it as different power sets, different cards, and just go, I want to use this today.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fighting Magneto, let me use this. Or I'm fighting, whoever, let me use this.
What I want to know is what they're going to do about her powers, because in the comics, she drains Miss Marvel to death.
Yes, she does.
I would love to see that in the MCU.
No, but it's not.
She takes the binary powers away.
Doctor Strange
she
does his whoosh and comes through.
And that's how she gets her...
She walks through with him and goes, and Doctor Strange, that's her. And then, change the powers. And goes, back to my universe.
But what they'll need to do is actually almost bring in like a hero to kill.
A spare hero.
Basically, they'll need to, because essentially Miss Marvel's the Miss Marvel she drains in the comics isn't the one with the energy powers. It's the flight,
binary powers.
It's flight and super strength.
Yep.
So she basically holds on to that mutant, that person too long, and that's the core of her power. Is that if she touches them once, she can get but if she actually holds on, she like literally drains it, keeps it forever, kills that mutant. And also, she also drains Cap for a while, and then there's a whole thing. But what I really want to see with her is I want them to bring in that character, but don't kill that character straight away. Because what's really interesting in the comics, in like say the 60s and 70s versions of Rogue, is she switches back and forth between Miss Marvel and herself as they both trying to fight for the control of the body. It's actually really interesting how like at one stage Rogue goes, you know what, screw this, I'm shutting down, and then Miss Marvel takes over the body and just Miss Marvel, but as Rogue for a long period of time. And it's actually really cool. And this is what really frustrates me about Foxmen. There are so many amazing details and stories of these X-Men characters that Bryan Singer went, that's the power they have. Cool. Here you go. And you've gone, okay, that's their power. What about the nuance of the character? What about everything that else is inside?
So no real depth.
Yeah, there's no depth. They're just and what frustrates me about this whole Dark Phoenix thing is someone who wrote the worst movie ever went, you know what? Let me have another crack at it. Mm-hmm. And here it is again. And did the same thing again.
And the thing is, the Dark Phoenix Saga is such a good story.
But you can't have Dark Phoenix Saga
and
without first doing the Phoenix Saga.
You can't just go, okay, this is our second movie, let's do it. No, this is our 10th movie, let's do it.
Dark Phoenix Saga, in my mind, Dark Phoenix Saga would be like 22 X-Men movies, then Dark Phoenix Saga.
Yep.
And then like this, imagine this. We start off with the X-Men team. We watch them as they struggle through the hate, oppression, still being good, and then all through that they meet with the Avengers. They fight with the Eternals, and they fight with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Multiple movies, and all of a sudden she becomes a Phoenix Saga in say movie like 16 or something. Has Phoenix powers, and then the bad side of Phoenix takes over. And then watch as the Avengers, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the X-Men, the Eternals have to put down a cherished member, a friend. That's what you build for.
And
that's what you want.
You don't
That's
realise-
ultimate.
Yes,
next level.
What you don't realise too with the films, and that's what I agree, where Fox, and I don't get angry about much, but Fox absolutely butchered it.
Oh no, I get angry.
She gets the dark. It builds to it though. She starts using the powers for good. And then it's a corruption, and as the power gets more, and she uses it more, is when those voices start up, and it's a thing that takes time.
You see a little bit where like Scott and Logan in Last Stand, like, oh, don't do it, Gene, and like going, okay, cool. But imagine that scene, but with 17 movies of history.
And you're attached.
And you'd be like, no, don't. You'd be there with them going, don't do it.
But then you'd have some real. You can have some real.
It'd be like
just about to
losing
say
Cap.
that.
It'll be the same thing.
You can have some real like emotional moment in that, right?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying, Chris. In the final battle with Phoenix,
Yeah.
in full, I'm about to kill the universe mode.
Yes.
And then you would have a scene with the first hero from the first movie, all those movies
Cyclops.
ago, make
Cyclops,
some as it all boils,
and Cyclops
it all
has to put
comes
it down.
back.
That's
Exactly.
And it harkens back to that. They say the same lines, like Cyclops walks up to her and goes, oh, you know what I always say, or he's got some line from the very first movie, and you're like,
It's like
the Cap
they did
moving at the locket,
in Civil
you know?
War.
Yeah.
Like in Civil War, where Cap's getting up with
I could do this all
at the
day.
end, I can do this all day.
Yeah.
It's all back to the
First
first
movie,
film.
yeah.
And that's the thing. That's what you need to build for. That's why I'm not gonna go see Dark Phoenix with the rest of you fools.
I'm not going to rush out to it, but
I agree with what Jamie
I
was
just enjoy
saying.
going to
Fassbender and McAvoy
Look, I've been watching
have been
it from the
great at their
beginning.
characters. I
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
But your first introduction to X-Men has been the cartoon series, and then the
Yeah,
the
so I'm the
movies.
same.
But I'm a comic book man.
Yeah.
And so when I read this, the X-Men has a special, real special place because I used to collect Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
So I have it and so that was my favorite comic to get, the Uncanny X-Men. Again, Archangel, like I said, one of my favorite X-Men characters. I've only picked it up again recently, and then it was really interesting how he sort of so in some of the later ones he's both Angel and Archangel based upon his mood.
Yep.
And so he's like, oh, I'm Angel, then gets mad and becomes, oh, I'm
Yeah,
Apocalypse
he's able to
Death.
channel that. It's fantastic.
And I'm going, cool.
Would you think that's the next evolution for his character?
Yeah, so it's because essentially when he's Archangel, he's a lot more powerful. He shoots weapons from his wings. He's got super strength. When he's Angel, and people say, oh, flight's a crappy ability because other X-Men fly. But what they didn't realize is, yes, other X-Men can hover or float themselves. When the way he flies, no other X-Men who with flight powers can keep up with him.
Because he's got that. That's that.
And, and people think, oh, it's just flight. Oh, Storm flies, Rogue flies. No. They fly. He
has wings.
It's a next it is next level flight. You are not going to keep up with it. You're not jet plane.
One thing I've been thinking about.
Thank you for listening to this DC
I was going to say that.
Hey,
DC / X-Men.
at least the majority was DC.
Yeah.
And it's kind of my fault. I kind of
it is your fault. You set me off an X-Men.
Trigger.
But I think it just shows how excited we are for the X-Men.
Here, one thought I had about X-Men, Marvel, all that. There's all these superheroes. Wouldn't there be no crime? With all these
and that thing has been said before, because essentially X-Men are in Upper New York, Avengers are in like Manhattan, and then they're going, wouldn't that be the most protected city in the universe?
But also goes
you wouldn't do any crime in New York.
It also goes to say,
not even a little.
One in 4 people are probably a hero.
But then it goes.
Imagine you see this person going to the store and grabs this old lady's person, runs out. Then you see 6 people in the street turn around and they whip off their shirts and become in their costumes, and then oh crap, just 6 people in the street just chase after him with superpowers.
But I think it goes
the worst
to
robbery ever.
It goes to the more heroes you have, the more villains will come around that area. So
Vision,
you know what I mean?
Vision alluded to that.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's why hey, there's all these X-Men that are in.
I've always enjoyed that concept of where
Yeah.
there's superpowers, you'll get the.
Look at Batman Begins, the end of it.
And look, to wrap up this DC podcast,
X-Men are cool.
the first time the first Kevin Feige led X-Men movie that's going to hit the cinemas, you put. And I'll go on record with this. That will be the death of the DC universe. That is the nail in the coffin, because X-Men resonates with so many people
Definitely.
that that is the death of the death of the
the
DC
final
EU.
nail.
That's the
Also-
final nail.
also-
That is just the.
Also,
Yeah.
he needs to nail it though.
Oh, definitely no. He
No,
Yes, he does.
he needs
Like,
to nail
he
it.
needs to
But
beyond nail
That's
it.
why. Like the rumors, it's all rumors. None of it's proven. But a lot of the rumors was he was trying to kill Dark Phoenix hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he wants to do the saga. He wanted that saga, and if he wants that saga, which means he had an idea. So then, like, and let's not forget that, like, Kevin Feige is not just some executive brought in
No.
to do X-Men movies. He was actually originally from Marvel, the company
brilliant.
before he was the executive. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then he's. You have me.
Why do
Yeah.
why do you think the movies he creates are good?
Yeah.
Because he
he's
was
passionate.
from that's from
Yeah,
his
because-
that's his thing.
Marvel
Like what
has
you're
that
saying,
culture.
yeah.
Marvel has a culture.
98%.
They believe if you work hard enough as a writer, as an artist, they will bring you up, and that's a lot of their top guys, like the editor in chief CB Cebulski at the moment. Got his start writing Spider-Man in the '90s. They bring their talent up, and exactly what Chris said. Why do you think we get good Marvel movies?
Yeah.
Because these guys are not just, I'm in here for 2 years, I've been at Marvel for 2 years. No, Feige's been there, these guys have been there for tens of years.
Because
you
that's
know what I mean?
and I think that's something that X-Men needs. X-Men needs to have people in charge of that universe who are passionate about that universe.
Yeah.
That's what they need behind the
And
helm.
to
They
be honest
need
with you,
us.
I've never been more scared for a franchise.
Look at
in
what
my
happened to
entire
Fantastic
life,
Four. Well, look at what happened
because I'm gonna be I'm nervous. Not because it's not in good hands, because of the legacy.
Yeah.
I want it to be
So-
good. We've had so many bad X-Men movies. I want it to be good.
And so just to give you a bit of, just looking at his bit of history. So he joined the Marvel Studios in 2000. Basically, he'd done a few things before that, but that seemed to be like his literally first movie he'd ever done.
Was
2000.
As the new form Marvel Studios. But he didn't just work on the big movies. He worked on like all the cartoons they made, all the like literally every single thing that Marvel had done. He was involved as a producer or executive producer or associate producer.
Yeah.
So that's why he has so much. That's why he has this clout and that's why he cares because these actually stories he actually obviously cares and gives a slight crap about.
Yeah.
So when he wants to do something, it's like that's why I said, with him in the helm, I trust that the X-Men are going to be good.
Yeah.
I trust that because of who he is and the reputation. 18 years of fine filmmaking.
Yeah.
Two bad films should give you enough credit. But okay, and let's talk about the two bad films. Let's talk about Iron Man 3. It wasn't. I know.
I thought this was a DC podcast.
Hey, look,
But since
we're going to wrap up in the next 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But since Iron Man 3, what has he done? He's taken hard control over the storyline.
Yes.
Basically, since Iron Man 3, he's been like, no. You tell me what your plan is. And then I'll say yay or no.
So then what happened with Captain Marvel then?
Look, Captain Marvel... And okay, I know that you don't like Captain Marvel, but it wasn't the worst movie ever. It was a fine film. Like it just like...
No, it was beyond bad.
Okay, look, it was an okay film. It was fine. It wasn't the worst thing ever.
Yes.
It was a perfectly fine Phase 1 Marvel film. But I think that in my mind, that movie's biggest problem wasn't so much the character of Captain Marvel. It was writing and direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I believe there was none because that's why like people say, oh, why does Captain Marvel look so much cooler in Endgame? Because the Russo brothers, I trust them with characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I trust they'll do a decent job.
That's a good point.
And I trust they'll do a fine job with characters because what have they built so far?
Yeah, maybe she will be a bit better under
and that's what I'm saying. I don't blame. Brie Larson makes crazy comments about another bit. I don't blame how boring the character was. Okay, and here's the thing that I will stress. It's not always the actor's fault when a character comes off bland and boring.
That's true.
Because a lot of that time, those decisions are made not by the actor, it's made by the director and also then that person who does the final edits. That wasn't my problem with it
at all, though.
You have different problems with it. But I'm just saying, from my point, people say, oh, she's bland. I'm going, yeah, but blandness might not be her fault. It might just be that what she was working with was crap.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Before we make any final definitive decision with Captain Marvel, let's see Endgame, and then we'll make a decision. And look, and if Endgame proves that, yeah, he's actually a bit boring, I will come out on the podcast and say, whoops. Sorry, guys. But I trust the Russo brothers. I trust Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to lose Cap.
I don't think we are, and the closer we get to it, and even watching, I think me and Jamie, we both watched First Avenger.
Yeah, I'm not ready. Sorry, I'm not ready. I'm not
No.
ready. I'm not. You know what? He's not dying. I don't care.
Get the Russo brothers on the phone now.
Chris,
Don't you dare.
He'll live on.
In our
here.
in your
Oh, in
I'm
my
pointing
heart,
at Chris's
yeah.
heart.
And
In
on
my
your
heart, he
Blu-rays.
lives on, and
That's the way. He needs a good send off. He can't.
no. And again, I trust them to send him off like he should as the ultimate hero. If there isn't some sort of Cap memorial or giant statue at the end of the movie, though, I'll be very mad.
I think there will be.
You've got to pay it off well
Yeah.
with a giant ass.
He's already got a
statue.
memorial though. He's already got a memorial.
Yeah, but but again, like where Avengers Tower used to be, imagine like this big Cap statue or like something like amazing
yeah.
or like a big.
Or even just his shield.
You see,
Oh,
what
yeah.
they did in Spider-Man movie when they did the state funeral, they didn't earn that. But imagine the state funeral
Oh,
for
yeah.
Cap. They've earned that.
Yeah.
They've earned that, and you know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore because I'm not ready.
That's a good time to wrap up. Now, next time, do we want to promise not to talk about X-Men and DC and
Captain Marvel.
maybe do a topic we haven't done before?
No, we're doing an anime cast next time.
Then
Ooh.
I'll be the one not talking much.
We'll talk about. You've seen some things. We're doing cartoon.
I've seen
okay, fine.
a few episodes.
We'll do cartoon. It's called Cartoon Cast.
Yeah,
Next one will be
cartoon,
Cartoon
yeah.
Cast.
Okay, cool.
All right,
Ninja Turtles it is.
all right. Thank you guys. And wrapping up.
Yeah, we're the Nerd Migos signing out.
Shazam!
Just say the word.